is anyone with a question? If you have a question, just raise your hand, let us know, or we can wait to see who else joins us, and if there are questions there. Right now we have a small team. Some other people in. Okay. All right, welcome everyone. We are ready to get started. If anybody has a question and wants to get us started for today. People in? Got people joining. If you could mute yourself, if you are not speaking, if you could mute yourself, thank you. Okay, Michael, I don't see, oh, I see you are recording. Thank you.
I am, yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't see anybody has questions. We have a quiet group this morning. I think everyone's come to listen in. Unfortunately, can't do much if there isn't questions. Oh, okay, good. Trisha, thank you for getting us started.
Oh, I have a question. I have a couple. I can only think of one at the moment. But
That's great.
Michael, so I'm with Sampo, and we have a request
Okay.
to do annual certificates for membership.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was something we could like automatically have on their profile, and they can just print them off every year as they pay their annual fees.
Not really, like you're just saying like a certificate for membership?
Like a certificate in good standing. So something saying that they've paid their dues and they are a member in good standing.
We don't have anything like that. Other than, yeah, I mean, we do. There is an option that's available, which would be called a virtual membership card, where somebody then could go into their profile, and if you have that option, then within their profile, there'd be a link here that says see your virtual membership card. So that's an option. It's an additional cost feature, but that would be the only thing that I could think of. I can try and let me see if I can come up with one. Yeah. Now I'm going to bring up this. This is a test website that we use internally for a lot of stuff. So there is way more stuff in here than
what
makes sense for you guys. But
Okay.
I believe they have the virtual membership cards. So if I go into somebody's profile here, yeah, see it says download membership card, and you can download as a JPEG or a PDF.
Yep.
So, and then you get to design the membership card so you can see what it looks like. I don't know. I can try and open it. Do you see what it says?
Can you try opening it? I'd like to see what it says.
I did open it. Let me see if I can share it the way I opened it here. There, that's what this one looks like, but you can add graphics to it and your logos and things like that. So this one's pretty simplistic. That makes sense?
It's kind of similar to what we're looking for.
Okay.
A little fancier, I think they want it, but.
Sure, yeah.
Do we know the additional cost for this, or is it something that Ronnie can send us, or?
Yeah, Michael,
yeah, and whenever you're looking for additional cost information,
yeah. Oh, is there something right here?
Yeah, there is. So if you go into the online help and go down to extra cost features and just scroll down looking for I think it's virtual membership card, or maybe it's just membership card. Yeah, I don't even see it on there. Well, that's weird. Oh, there it is, virtual membership cards. So it's a one-time fee of $400.
Oh, one-time fee.
Yeah. And if you want it with the member's photo, which would be their profile photo, which would require your members to upload their profile photos, then it would be $600.
Yeah. Good luck with that, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, I will present that to the board. Thank you very much, Michael.
Sure. You're welcome.
Hi, Michael. This is Michael from Southeast Florida chapter. I wanted to ask you a question. The question is based on that virtual membership card. What does your site offer for us to print out other than a membership card that we have to pay $400 for like when we're recertifying there, we're looking for things. And I think that's why it's kind of important that we have a way of being able to say, I'm an active member. I'm a chair of this. The certificates that we used to give out through the other website covered that. This is what I think we're looking for. And with NIGP and UPPCC, they are looking for that documentation and we're having to pay for that documentation. So I'm trying to figure out what's an easier way for members to get that information.
If you're using the points tracking module, you can go to a member can go to their points hours history, and they can't, like, if this member doesn't have any points submitted yet, but then they can print out a transcript of all of the things that they've earned points and credits for, depending on what you're tracking.
Do you know if that's acceptable to UPPCC?
I
Michael,
can't answer that.
Yeah, Michael, that's something you would have to submit to them to ask. I couldn't even answer that for you, but I do know that this transcript was put in place for the purpose of providing that kind of points tracking for that purpose, but I can't speak to whether UPPCC would accept it or not.
Well, I guess that's where my concern is. If it's just an NIGP suggested site, those things should be taken into consideration. And I think that's why, because people are calling membership chairs going, how do I get this information?
But actually, the UPPCC is 100% separate from NIGP, so there is absolutely no connection. So certainly you can print your transcript from this site for the purpose of submitting it for recertification with NIGP for sure. As for the UPPCC, I can't speak to that, but you can certainly use the transcript here.
Michael, really quick, can you show me how you got to the transcript?
Yeah, if you go to People Manager and you look up the member that you need to get their transcript, or the member themselves will go to their own profile, and they just go within their profile. It's this link here, points and hours history. And then there's a button here that says transcript. And so they can print out their transcript.
Michael, do you want to show how to upload the points? Because there are some new people on the call, I think, that have not necessarily seen how the points tracker works.
Yeah, if we go to Control Panel and go to the website tab and then go to points tracking, this is the module that feeds that. So if you're adding, and a member can do this too. Like if a member goes into their own profile, and new chapters were doing this themselves. So a member goes into their own profile. Within their profile, they go to points hours history and they click add points. And so then they get a form that says, what is it from? What was the date? And what are the points that you're applying for? And then they submit them. Okay. And then, so that's a good way to get your members to enter their own points. And then you can verify them. And then you go to the points tracking module, and you're going to see a list of points here that haven't been approved yet. And then you can verify them. You can look at them and see what information was supplied to help validate it. And then you can approve it. Once it's approved, then it'll go into their profile on their transcript. But you as an admin can also add points. So if you want to manually add points to a specific member, you can click on that and you'll do the same thing. You select the member, you choose categories, what the event is, with the date of the event and the points or credits that you're tracking. You can also, if it's tied to an event that you hosted, you can set up the event so that you're tracking attendance. And then if you track attendance on that event and say, well, Michael Fisher attended this event and this event was worth so many points, then you can click on import from event and then you just select the event. So let's say it's the Lord's webinar and it's the leadership and the category, you haven't set up any categories for this event or for this chapter yet. And then how many points or credits are they going to get for that? And then you just import them. And then everybody whose attendance was marked for that event will get the points added to their transcript.
All right, Mike, you
That
have your
make
hand
sense?
up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is Mike Pershing from the Gulf Coast chapter, gapgo.org. And our chapter allows when an employee
Gapgo?
leaves an agency,
Okay.
and then they hire a new one, we can transfer the membership, but I couldn't see it in the database how we could transfer memberships. I mean,
So-
without change, yes.
So you're saying when they leave one organization and go to another organization?
No, just if, say, Lee County has 10 members and 2 of the members have left, but they hired 2 new employees, we allow to transfer the members that have left to the new employees.
Yeah, I would. The transferring is problematic because the history then gets muddled. Because let's say I am, I'm a member of the school district of Lee County, right? And I have event history and my membership history, and then I leave the school district of Lee County, and somebody else comes in. If we just change the name of that person to fill that position, then that new person is associated with my event history and
Correct,
my
that's
membership
what I
history. And we don't want to do that. So
No, I didn't want to do that, no.
yeah, so what we do is the primary member is going to do this. So the primary member in this case was Tracy Adams.
Uh-huh.
So she goes to additional members in her account. And then what she's going to do is she's going to remove a member. Let's say Deborah's no longer with them, remove them. And then she's going to click on add to add the new people.
And it won't generate a new charge?
It will not. It will generate it if the chapter overall is set to do that. To charge for mid-year replacements. But if you're not doing mid-year replacements, or if you're not, well, I guess in this case you wouldn't, because they've already been paid for, right?
Correct, they've already been paid for, so we allow
Yeah.
them to change it. What if a member changes from one organization to another, just change their agency in their profile?
Then, yeah, the beautiful thing is that, the primary in this case, Tracy Adams, is going to remove them. And then this member, let's say it's Deborah, is going to be in a dropped status. And then you as the admin, you find out that they've joined a new organization. Then all you have to do is go into People Manager, search for that member and that dropped status. Yep.
Okay.
And you'll find them, and then you'll be able to add them to the new, find the primary for that, and then reactivate them, add them to that new agency.
Yeah. The first example, you said the primary had to do it. Can I do it as the admin, or does the primary?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it, but what we're moving toward is trying to get the primaries to take on some of the responsibility.
I'm 100% on board for that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. But in this case, I have to do it myself. I know.
In this case, it's probably cleaner if you do it. Yeah.
And Michael Durden, as far as the transcripts, when I renewed my CPPO and B just this, I think, November, I took my downloaded transcript from NIGP and they accepted that. So I don't see why they wouldn't take this downloaded transcript.
Oops.
That's good news. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. And thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. And Ronnie, thank you for all your help. We're brand new users. We just started May 1. Remember, I was out of the office for a couple of weeks. So it's
Yep.
it's got free for all there for a little bit, but everyone seems to be liking it pretty well so far.
Excellent.
Glad to hear it.
As far as me as
Thank
a
you.
back end, I'm loving it compared to what we had before.
Mike, do you mind if I show people your transcript, what it looks like?
Sure.
Which one is it under? Is it under your secondary membership or the admin?
That very first one is one I created before we went live, just so I could get in. So,
okay,
that's
your admin account then. So then this one's got your points and hours.
I don't think there's anything because we didn't. I don't think Because when we were Star Chapter, we lost a lot of data when we moved from Chapter Manager to Star
Okay.
Chapter.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the last year we didn't really track anything. We lost all our history.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. That answered my question.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Heather, you have your hand up. Heather, we can't hear you. Heather? We're not hearing you. Why don't we go to Amanda and we can come back to you, Heather, if that's okay? Amanda?
Hello. So I've been working on the website, and there's on the actual like website design page or that area, there's all those different versions of the website. And am I able to clean those up or do I need to keep those various versions for other reasons?
Oh, you're talking about the old versions of like the homepage and custom
Yeah.
pages.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep them. It's cleaner if you can delete them, and clean them up. And it takes a few days to delete them. But yeah, if you don't need them for any reason, I think it's kind of a good idea to keep a couple of like milestone ones, just so that you can refer back to them and say, you know what, we did that in the past. I don't remember how we did it. And then you can go back and look at how you did that.
Okay, that's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Heather, can we try again? Still not hearing you, Heather. If you want, you can put your question in chat. Not.
I
Yeah,
wonder if Heather may have stepped away.
yeah, no, she's there, but for whatever reason, not hearing her. We can try again, Heather. We can move to Nora and come back. Nora, if you want to ask your question.
Yeah, I had a question. So recently, my boss renewed our membership for our whole office. So he renewed his membership and like 7 other people in the office. And what it did is duplicated their profile. And our original membership wasn't paid. So he basically paid for just duplicate accounts.
How did he do that? Yeah, how did he do that? Which chapter are you with?
This is the Arizona Capital Chapter.
Is it A's? No, which was
AZNIGP.org.
All right. So what is his last name?
And Enriquez. ENRIQEZ. That's him.
I only see him in there once, and I don't see any secondaries.
When he was trying to renew his membership, he renewed everybody else in the office's membership, and he just added us when he was like renewing it, and it created multiple profiles for everyone that he tried to pay the membership for.
Okay, so what's the last name of one of the people he
added? Oh, we already deleted the duplicate accounts.
Okay, what is the last name of one of them that's a duplicate?
Me, Nora. NORA.
How did he do that? Oh, because originally you were a primary and then you were a secondary under him.
Yeah, I don't know how he did.
Yeah, he went into his own profile and he just clicked on add additional members in your account and then he added them.
So how would he do it to pay for everybody's membership without creating duplicate?
He has to. In order for him to be able to pay for everybody's membership, he has to be in a primary secondary arrangement. And since you guys are already primaries, you don't have that arrangement. So he went in, he made everybody secondaries under him, which is where you got the duplicate members. So you're going to have to decide if you want individual primary memberships, or if you want that organizational relationship for him to be able to pay for everybody. If you do, then you're going to have that situation where he's the primary and all of you are secondaries underneath them.
Yeah, how do we change it for
Well,
him to be?
it was already there, and then you dropped it. So I would reactivate this and get rid of your primary membership. So as the admin for the site, you're gonna reactivate this one, which is the secondary under art.
Uh-huh.
And then you're going to drop this one as a duplicate, which is the one that you're using now, which is your primary membership.
And everything is the same, like all the data transfers, you don't have to recreate anything.
Well, I'll use this as an example, okay, if you're okay with it. I'm going to well, we don't want to promote it to a full member. We just want to reactivate them. All right, we're going to have to do this in 2 steps. So I promote you to a full member. I'm going to go to level changes. I got to remember 655. So we're going to link a solo member to a primary. In this case, 655 is the one we want, and that's going to be added to, what was Art's last name again?
Enriquez, E-N-R.
Yes,
Enriquez.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to link the 2 of you. So now you're an active secondary member of Art. So if we click on this, it's going to take me to Art's profile, which is great. So that worked. Now you have 2 memberships. So if we click on this where it says active and I drop it, and I'm just going to say duplicate, and I'm going to say move all transactions to another member, and it's going to be your secondary membership. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then click save, and it's going to move everything over to your the secondary membership. Do you want me to go ahead and do that, or do you want to do it just for practice?
Yeah, don't do it. I want to do
Okay.
it for practice, because so how do we like for our membership, how do we prevent them doing all of that? Like, what was it that we did wrong? What can we do so that they don't create?
When all your members were brought over, I believe they were all primaries. You hadn't identified which ones was going to be a primary for an agency and who were all the secondary members underneath that agency. So everybody was a primary.
Uh-huh.
And so now as these primary members are renewing their memberships, they're adding the people that they don't see under their membership as secondaries. And so they're getting duplicated.
Oh, that is what.
So if you want to kind of preempt that, then before they renew, go up to member options and do the level changes and link the solo members to a primary and say, who are the secondary members underneath that organization? And you just identify them, add them to that primary member, and then when they renew, all those secondary members will already be underneath them.
Oh, do you have anything like that anything like a PDF or something that I can have? Because I mean you went really fast and
Sorry about that.
Oh,
But
no, it's okay.
If we go to level changes, click on this little question mark, it's going to take you to the online help. And it'll take you to the member level changes and kind of walk you through it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Also, the About tab on your site has a how-to for admins.
Oh, that's
and
right.
On that page, the FAQs, I've kind of put together a list of the most asked questions, and that definitely falls into it. And so if you click there, Michael, as you have, it takes you to a page that has that information as well. So you can search in the search bar and it'll.
Right here.
Yeah.
Setting up agency.
Okay,
and then there's all the steps.
And I walk you through all the steps on how to do it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
So Heather, hopefully I can understand this. I apologize. She's written, I've placed the regional conference on our main page. We've taken care of this issue. Michael, we are working on this for our primary, secondary members. This is AZ and IGP. I'm not sure I'm quite understanding the question is my problem. Heather, is your microphone, are you working now, the sound, or to clarify? No. Because I'm sorry, I'm not understanding necessarily the question. Yeah, she says it's not working. If you want to write a specific question in the chat, and then I can ask Michael. So sorry, because I'm not sure I'm quite understanding. We'll move on to somebody else and come back. Mike, you have your hand up. Is that from your initial question? Just want to see if you have another one. Mike? No? Trisha, you have your hand up again. Do you have a question?
I do. I have two questions. So, Michael, I know previously I asked you about this automatic certificates and you said the new membership, virtual membership card. So I was trying to figure out how you found the extra cost for the features.
Oh, if you just go into anywhere you have a help. So any page that has this question mark within the circle,
Yep, I did that.
that's going to take you to the online help. And then on the left-hand side, just scroll down to the bottom where it says extra cost features. Do you see that?
No, how did you get that panel? Mine looks different than yours.
Trisha, I
Well-
can also send you a link to that if you'd
Oh,
like.
can you? Yeah, that would be easy.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Okay.
do that.
So my other question was, a newsletter. How can we send a newsletter to all members?
Oh, newsletters are pretty easy. If we go to, let me see, get back to your, where did we go? Anyway, newsletter is always done through the emailing module, right? So you're just going to set up an emailing for your newsletter. If your newsletter is going to be in PDF form, like if you're creating it outside of our platform, then you're going to upload it to the document library. And in the emailing module, you're going to set it up. And, I'm going to create a new emailing here. And then you're just going to grab the file and pop it over there. And you're going to include it as a link, basically. Or you can create, either a link or a file.
Okay, so I'm trying to follow you. So you went to control panel. And then you went to.
Yeah, have you not done emailing before? Is that why?
No, this is my first one.
That's why. Okay. All right. So yeah, you're going to go to emailing, go to communications under control panel, and then emailing.
Oh, communications. Gotcha. I was in the
Yeah.
people. I'm used to being in people because I'm on membership.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm on two committees and I get confused. Okay. So, and then I just go to email,
Yep. Emailing. Yep.
email accounts or
Nope,
emailing.
Emailing. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And this is where you're going to send out all your blast emails.
Okay. So just start date, finish date, subject.
Exactly. So you're going to set it up. Exactly. Set it up in the basic info, your start date, end date, your start date and end date. That's an event.
I have start date, finish date. Email administration.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right there. Start date, finish date.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, but what you're just going to do is you're going to click, that's just for the search box. What you want to click on
Go
is
to
the
add emailing.
Add emailing. And then click on the
Okay.
pencil. And then here's what I would do too. I'll go over the basics here, but I can't obviously give you in-depth training in this platform. But what I would do is click on the question mark within the emailing module.
Yep.
And it's going to take you to our online help again. But within the online help, if we go up to the top and go to videos, we have a number of videos on setting up emailings. So it takes you right to our
that's
YouTube
easy to get
channel
there.
on all of our emailings.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So, but I mean, for right now, where were we?
I also
feel
should
that it's
just
not popping
mention,
up.
Michael, sorry, I just mentioned that in our new administrator training we did in February, we have a video that goes through the basics of creating an email. So our YouTube channel, I can send you a link to that, has that video, and it's a great resource in terms of, it's going to basically tell you everything that Michael's going to be going through here, so.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
So once you get into the emailing that you've created, the first thing you do is you click on the basics. Who's it coming from? What's the subject? When do you want it sent? Do you want it sent immediately as soon as you are ready, or do you want it sent at a specific date and time? And then do you want to track if people open it or not? Probably a good idea just to see who's opening it and who isn't. View subject is always required. I'm just going to put down test. And then you have to pick a distribution list. And so if you just choose create a new list, you can select who you want to send it to. And there's a bunch of distribution lists. There's so many of them. I'm just going to say all active members for now. Always click add. It's something I always forget. Click add and then click save. And so now you've got a distribution list. And if you click on this little arrow here, you can see roughly how many of them are going to be sent out. In this case, about 445 of them will get sent out.
Oh, that's nice.
And then what you'll do is if you have a template that's already created, you just drag it over and it'll recreate that template for you. And you can use that over and over again. And you can add other content too. Let's drag over some elements and then you can, insert images, insert text. We can create a link. So if it's, like I said, if it was a PDF newsletter that somebody created offline and you want to include that, upload it to the document library, and then all you have to do is link to it here within the document library. You're going to pull a document and then what folder it's in. Let's say it's a newsletters folder, and then you're going to grab the newsletter. And you're
So I can either create the newsletter right here on this page, or I can upload one that's been already created in Word. Is that what?
It's totally up to you. Yes.
Oh,
a lot of our organizations will just create the newsletter right here
Right there.
and send it. Yep. And then a lot of them too will still create it in as a PDF. Maybe they create it in Publisher or Word or something, and then they just save it as a PDF and then attach it that way.
Oh,
Totally up to you.
Okay. Interesting. I'll try it both ways.
Yeah. And then once you're done editing it and you're happy with it, you can save it as a template to create a new template so that you can use it over and over again, or click ready for delivery and it'll get sent out. Or if you schedule it to go in the future, it'll schedule it so that to get sent out.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can always click send test to send yourself a test of it to make sure it really does look the way you think. Because I'll tell you, there's sometimes where you got it everything just right and it looks perfect on screen here, and then you send yourself a test of it and it's like it doesn't look like that and you're kind of disappointed. It's going to happen because email readers read emails differently, right? Outlook is going to display a little bit differently than Gmail is going to display. It's going to display it differently than whatever reader Apple uses. I don't remember what reader they use, but so you have to take into account that it's not always going to look the same that you created it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, yep, you're welcome.
Seems easy.
So Michael, I do have a question now from Heather. So she says their regional, Heather is from Arizona. She says regional conferences on the main toolbar on our site only when logged in as a member. When you are logged out, it is not appearing for our vendors to register.
Okay. So if we go to website and go to menus and look at see, it's going to be on the member menu, right? It's here for regional conference. But if we look at the public menu, it's not here. So when they're not logged in, you got to add regional conference here to the public menu.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. And then Stacy asks, how do we preview a posting in mobile view?
What kind of a posting?
That I'm not sure. Stacy, can you provide a little more information? Okay, I'll give Stacy some time. We'll move to the next question. Mike, you have your hand up. Is this a second question? Okay.
Yeah, I have another question, Michael. I did what you said, but I took off all four. I dropped all four of the memberships. I was able to add one, but now the plus sign on the top doesn't come up, so I can't enter the others. Do I have to do one at a time?
Which was
This is
that?
Gulf Coast,
Gulf Coast.
gapco.org.
Let me go back to Gulf Coast. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's take a look at your member types. For agencies, it looks like it's set for a maximum of 30 members, so you should be able to add 30 of them.
Okay.
Let's take a look. Which member? What was the primary member you were adding them to?
Mary Tucker. Yes.
So if you look at additional members, oh, she's already got 30.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
Yeah.
So she can have more. So where do I increase that? Where you just were?
Yep, that's what we're going to do. So we'll go down to member types, agency, and we're going to set that higher, maybe 40.
Yeah, 40 is fine. She's
Okay.
the largest agency in our group.
Okay, yeah, it's set to 40 now.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So Michael, I'm going to jump in here just based on the email question that we just got. I sent an email out to you all last week about another training that we're going to be doing on June 14th, Friday, June 14th. And it is on the communications. It's going to be not really the basics of creating emails we just went over, but some more of the more sophisticated aspects of the email module, as well as the news module that you all have on your homepage. Some people have registered. I sent out a link, and I'm going to send out other reminders. But please, if you're able to attend, we will also be recording it. So just to let you know, when you get the link, it is for admins only. So you will be logging into the NIGP website, parent site, with your admin login, and then you can register. Otherwise, you don't see the register button. So just to let everybody know, but it's definitely about communications. So
yeah, here's the event right here, quarterly NIGP chapters ClubExpress training with Devin. And so when you click on it, it's going to take you to the NIGP national site, and then you're just going to log in with your admin login here. And then once you do, you'll be able to actually register for the event. Oops.
great, thank you for sharing that. So Katya writes, I'm having an issue with seeing the same information on the committee's page as others. I've been added as a committee chair, but this is Southeast Florida chapter.
Okay.
So I've been added as a committee chair, but under my committee, there is no link for me to follow and see members of the committee. Others see it. What is going on with my browser? I've tried different browsers and cleared cache, but the problem persists.
So being a chair on a committee doesn't give you any privileges, other than you're responsible, but you don't have any privileges to do anything outside of what you had prior. So when you go to committees, where's the committees? There they are. So when you go to committees and look at your committee, you still don't have any other privileges to be able to contact them or do anything. So in order to actually do anything with the committee, you've got to be made a coordinator on the committee's module, which means that one of the admins will have to make you a coordinator on that module. Does that make sense?
Can you show
So are
how
you
to
not
do
an
that?
admin already?
Yeah, Katya, I think you are an admin, but
So you should have access.
yeah.
Oh, it doesn't look. I don't see Katya here.
No, she's not. Yeah.
Oh, she is. She's a coordinator. So let's see. Yeah, but she does not have access to committees.
Yeah.
So she'll need to be given access to committees to do that.
Yeah. Okay, I think that answers that.
Yep.
Mike, do you have another question with your hand up?
No, ma'am. Sorry, I put it down.
Nope, that's okay.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. I don't see any other hands up. Do we have any more questions? Let's see, something. Let's see. Nope. Michael, do we want to move to our list of things that
Yeah.
we're going to go over?
Yep. Let me pull it up real quick here. Okay,
Yeah.
so one of the things that we kind of we've never really covered it. So I'm just going to introduce it briefly. For organization for the chapters that have larger geographies, there we have a way to break things up into metro areas. So in a metropolitan, let's use Chicago for example. You know, you've got northwest suburbs, you've got western suburbs, you've got, you know, all these different areas, and within Chicago itself you've got River North, and you know you've got all these different, and then downtown, and you've got but all these different kind of geographies. So if you want, you can break your memberships down into different geographies within your larger geography. And to do that, you would create metro areas. And it's really simple. Basically, you just give it a name and say whether the metro area is active or not. And then what you'll see is that within events, you can create events for specific geographies or specific metro areas within your larger geography. Because it's, you know, maybe it's an in-person event, and it's less likely that somebody's going to attend if they're outside of that geography. If you look at some of the chapters that are, you know, encompass an entire state, like, you know, Kentucky or Ohio, I guess, well, there's Northern Ohio, you know, they may have an event that's in Cleveland, but is somebody from Cincinnati really going to travel to Cleveland for that event? So you can break things up into different metro areas. So that's something that doesn't get utilized much. And then when you actively start creating metro areas, you'll see in people's profile that there will be a new option under their information, under the address, that will have, it'll say metro area. And so then they can select the metro areas from the list that you created.
Can you make that mandatory, like on a renewal or a join, as a question, to check off what metro area they're in? Or
Yeah,
no?
you really can't.
No.
It's not something that can be made mandatory.
Okay.
But if people want to get, you know, there's kind of an intrinsic motivation for them to do it, because if they want to get things that are specific to their communication, specific to their, or events specific to their metro area, then that's kind of their motivation to choose their metro area when they renew.
And can you show, Michael, how you can indicate what, on a renewal or a new member form, like the joining agreement or the interests or all that, so that if there's people on the call who would like to utilize those?
Yeah, the joining agreement is something that I don't know if many chapters are using it, or maybe they don't even know that it exists. But if you go to the chapter panel of control panel and go down to member joining agreement, this is where you can create your own joining agreement. Maybe you have, you know, attorneys or insurance people or somebody who says, well, you're going to have everybody agree to this if they're going to attend events, and you're whatever, you know. But this is where you can add your own joining agreement. So when somebody new joins, you know, they're going to accept the ClubExpress joining agreement, but then you have your own separate joining agreement that they can agree to. And so that's where you put the text for this. And then what you'll do is you'll go to the People tab, and where it says New Member Sign Up, you're going to choose the joining agreement, which is number 10, and you're going to say you want to enable it for new members and also for renewing members. And then even if, you know, if you are pretty confident that no one's ever agreed to it, maybe it's a new thing you're implementing, then you could make it part of the first login process as well, so that people have to agree to it the very first time they log in.
And you can do that as well for interest, for instance. So if you wanted to use the interests module, you can put that on renewals or a new member sign up.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, that's nice, because some of the chapters are starting to use interests now, and interests are a way to kind of group people together based on different interests. So in this case, well, they have a test, but let's say Well, interests are kind of grouped by category, and then interest groups within that category. So we'll just say this one is municipal as the broader category, and then underneath that we would have maybe, I don't know, road commission. Well, let's just say roads. And then maybe we'll have transportation. Maybe we'll have school districts. I don't know. You know, you can make your own categories and your own interest groups. And then when people go and renew, or at any time, they can go into their profile too. And let's take a look, and you'll see that you have interest here. And they can say, well, I'm really interested in learning more about transportation. Then when you send out information, you can say, I'm only sending out this to people who have expressed an interest in getting communications about transportation.
And in a previous office hours, we talked about using the interests for long-term volunteer opportunities, so that you can use the
Definitely.
interests to the category might be committee membership, and then each of the interests is a various community. Is that
Absolutely.
committee,
So,
right? Yeah.
So we'd say, I'm going to say, I want to volunteer. And then under the volunteering, we could say, I want to serve on a committee, or I want to help at events. You know, you have a variety of different things that you can do. And then again, when you go into a profile or during the renewal process, you're going to be presented with this screen. So you say, I want to volunteer, I'm going to help on a committee, and then save it.
A lot of different things you can use it for.
Right.
Okay, I don't see
So I'm
any
going to go
hands.
clean those up because, you know.
Yes. So Michael, do you want to talk about using the storefront for sponsorships?
Absolutely. When there's a couple of different ways chapters are using sponsorships. One of them, they're looking for sponsorships that are basically annual sponsorships. And then they also have event sponsorships. So when they have a reverse trade fair, you know, you have a very short defined period of time that somebody's sponsoring, and it's usually during the run of the trade fair. But in this case, if you want an annual sponsorship, the storefront is really a great platform for this. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to create it by default. It's going to go into the product manager, and you're going to create a new product. And the product is going to be, let's say it's a platinum sponsorship. Now we got to create a product category first. Oh, it did that for me. Okay. Product category. So we'll call this, the category is going to be sponsorships. And we'll say all. Okay, so now I'm going to add a product, and I'm going to say it's going to be, title, there is platinum sponsorship 1 year, or maybe we'll just call it annual. And then the description is going to be, this is for a platinum sponsorship. You can put in whatever you want. You know, what's included with this platinum sponsorship. And then there's going to be a cost, right? So what's a platinum sponsorship? Let's say it's $1,000, whether it's members or non-members, because you can have it available for members as well. Then you choose a category, save it. Now you've got a platinum sponsorship. And then how many of them? So you click on this to say what's the inventory level. And then how many do you have in inventory? So we're going to sell 3 platinum sponsorships, and the costumes are $1,000. And then when we go to, we'll just show you kind of what it looks like. So if we go to the storefront, oh, did I not make it active? Dude, it's still being defined. It's not active yet. Okay, so now if I go back to the storefront, switch, holy moly, switch to view mode. And now I can see the platinum sponsorship is available here. You can put your own image in here, whatever you want it to look like. And then when they choose it, then they can add it to the cart. They can check out. And, you know, basically they're purchasing the $1,000 sponsorship. So this is built into your sites. You don't have to enable it. But when you first start playing with it, it's always in test mode. And the reason for that is that as you're playing with it and figuring it out and trying things and seeing what works, it's generating transactions behind the scenes as you check out, right? So when it's in test mode, the transactions are not expected to be paid. In fact, they're not payable at all. So it's just they're just test transactions. And then when you're ready, you're going to contact support and say, I would like to enable my shopping cart or make my shopping cart live. And then we'll do that for you here. And then once it's live, then any transactions generated will be expected to be paid.
That's great. Thank you, Michael. Really helpful.
Yeah. And you can do all kinds of, you can add like photo galleries with multiple photos for them. Depends on how much detail you want to go into. You can have different levels. You can even have digital products for, I don't think anybody has really, any of the chapters have really played with digital products, but let's say there's something that there's some sort of a guide that you want to offer on your website, and it's in PDF form, you know, then you can add that as a digital product and then people can purchase it from your website. Cool. Any questions about the storefront?
I don't see any hands up, so
Okay.
I don't know if there's anyone has any questions. No? Well, I think we will, since there's no questions, I think we will fold for the rest of the day. Thank you, Michael. We will be doing this again on the second Tuesday in June. So I hope that everyone will be able to join us. It will be at 12 noon Eastern time. And please plan to attend the training on the 14th if you are able to make it. Also to let everybody know that Michael, if you are going to be attending Forum in person, Michael is going to be there to lead some training sessions. So we will also be sending out more information, more specific information about that. So, and yes, great. Thank you so much for joining us. See
Thank you,
everyone
everybody.
2 weeks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.